Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mahogany True Talk. It's another Tuesday night. It's Tuesday, yes? Another Tuesday night. Let's check in. Now, these days seem to be blending one into the other. Can't get my phone to be still. Anyway, so it's another Tuesday night. We have another great show ahead. I'm going to have my good friend, colleague, person that has become like a brother to me, and is also in the industry, one of the leading people within the industry when it comes to lights and stage. But anyway, before he joins us, let's get straight into the introductions. Hi, everybody. Yemi's already there, so he'll be joining us in a few seconds. Evening, everybody. My name's Shola Yubade, aka Mr. Mahogany. And you're welcome to Mahogany True Talk, which is a weekly interactive show brought to you by Mahogany Productions and Events. Just in case you don't know, Mahogany Productions and Events is an experiential event and production company that handles production and event management for clients. This show focuses on everything to do with events, from production, event management, hosts, music, food, lights, sound, you name it. And just like we're bringing to you tonight, we bring you the top guns of the industry. Yeah? Guys, it's an interactive show, so please, if you have, how do I put it now? If you've got comments, you've got questions, please feel free to ask as we bring Mr. Lights on board. Today, please be ready, because anytime we bring Yemi, there's drama. Any of you that work with him know that Yemi is in himself is drama, original drama man, drama of life. And if you see his son is called Rani. That one, unfortunately for him, has inherited from mother's side and from father's side. So I am scared for that boy, and I'm scared for the world in general. Yemi, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, Mr. Charles. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to Mahogany True Talk. It's taken us a while to bring you, but you have family. We can't bring you too soon. Let us talk to other people. Crowd controller, my main man. How you doing? Yeah. Your wife has even joined us. This is you. She knows to be on time. When we did last week, she completely forgot. My gig, continue. You hear? Between favoritism. Because your husband is here, you are joining. That's right, crowd controller. It's all about the lights. Let's get straight into it because we've got a lot to discuss with Yemi. But as normal, I'd like to introduce him to everybody so that everybody knows who he is. Adeyemi Light Wahib. Yes, so his name is actually Light. So I did not mispronounce it. I did not misread it. I did not miscall it. On his birth certificate, it said Light. So his mother was a fortune teller. She knew what her son was going to do as soon as he was born. So she now named him Light. Okay, so he's probably referred to as Mr. Light, and he's the CEO of Yemi Lights, one of the top stage lighting brands in Nigeria. He's known for his passion, very passionate man about what he does. It's no surprise that Yemi Lights as a company has been in the industry for well over 10 years, delivering top-notch services in creating amazing light interpretations to suit their clients' needs. A man of many talents. Yes, so Adeyemi Light is also the CEO of Fute Hands. Fute. That's how I pronounce it. So anyway, well, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't mix Niger, Warri, French, English combined to create name. Yeah. It's a company dedicated to providing exceptional stage building services. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Adeyemi Lights. Yemi, how now?
Fine. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. See, Yemi is forming English here. They speak like that. Now, Warri speaking, they speak. They form English. Me, I'm trying with my small broken to feel like I'm like Yemi. Yemi they speak like this. So now, when they speak like this, you say, where's the translator, please? Can I Warri translator so he can please translate what he said into English? Don't mind him. It's forming. It's forming.
Oh, well, Mr. Charles, no swag for you.
So, no Yemi, how did you get into lights? What was your beginning? Tell us how it all started.
Okay, to be honest, church.
Church, explain.
Hello, are you there, Mr. Charles?
Yeah. Explain.
Yeah, so I said it's all started from church. Uh, I started by doing light in church. So it wasn't like light was the aim thing. The aim thing first was playing drums and dancing. That was the first thing. So and then uh, you know, I and a good friend of mine, Ice, started up like, okay, let's just create color to this whole dance thing that we do, and make it look different. So that's how the whole lighting thing started from. It started from House on the Rock in Port Harcourt. So it was at first it was for fun. Wasn't for money and all that. It wasn't like I never saw myself doing this as like I never saw it as a way of life. So it was first of all it was for fun. I was enjoying it until some other church saw what we were doing and said, please come and do it for us. And then we got there. It was for fun. We got there, and afterwards, like back then, when you go to church to do stuff, there's this little thing they give to you, and then the little thing that came back from that was like, okay, really, can you actually make this for this thing that we're joking about? But that was where it all started from, and then as time goes, we had to switch our game up, and then made it a way of life.
So you started, if I heard you correctly, you started in Port Harcourt. So why did
Yes.
you stay in Port Harcourt? Why did you move to Lagos?
Okay, so I moved to Lagos Kili because there's a limit to what you can do in that town. Like, yes, entertainment was good, but at some point in the town you know, there are some other things happening in the town, and then entertainment was almost close to dead. So I had to move somewhere else to
So,
upgrade and
mm. So you moved to
and if
Lagos. What has it been like in Lagos? Because they say that doing business in Lagos is hard, man. Or did you find it very easy? Was it straightforward for you? How was it?
uh it wasn't straightforward, but to an extent it wasn't hard.
Okay,
Sorry to say,
explain.
it wasn't
Explain,
hard.
because there's some people that want to get into this business. So they want to understand what it's really like setting up a business like this.
It wasn't hard for me because I knew what I wanted, and then I had to stick to it. That's the truth. Like, I practically had to plan for it because from where I was coming from, like I used to see guys coming from Lagos to do certain events, and then they just come and play around, and then it was numb. And for me, I had to go and research, and I'm constantly on the internet reading up on things and all that. Like, okay, how does this work? How can I like bring this into this to create the magic? For me, I was all about creating magic with light. So so
But
I, I
Yemi,
practically
sorry, let me just stop you here. Break it down a little bit. It cannot be that easy. Listen, you are a Port Harcourt boy. You came from Port Harcourt. You came
Mhm.
into the wild city of Lagos, where everything is madness. And what you're just telling, you just walked in, you just announced in Apapa, Yemi has arrived, and then what? Everybody just started calling you without even knowing your number and started giving you jobs. That's the way you are trying to explain to me. How did it
Okay,
work?
so
Break it
okay,
down.
so this is it. First of all, I had people I was working with in Port Harcourt at the time.
Now you
I
are
was working
talking.
with I was working with Charles Boo, who is the son of Charles David Boo. I was working with Yibo Koko, which was at some point head of programs in Mnet, and I was working with Alaji Teju Karim, who is the CEO of Z Mirage. So those were
Okay.
the people. Those are the A-list people in the industry at then. And then Yibo Koko had Night of a Thousand Laugh under him. Zed Mirage had them Guinness and the rest of them under him. So, and one thing I always tell people, because I started up doing it for fun, there was the drive. So for me was I just want to show up there and do something. I just want to show you what I can do. It wasn't all about the money. It
Mm-hmm.
was showing up. So you both saw that in me when we were doing Night of Thousand Laugh. I'm like, man, this guy is good. So you both brought me to Alhaji Karim, when we had some other gig to do then, and Alhaji was like, you have to work under these people. And then the people I was working under had a routine of we work from XYZ time to XYZ time, and then we go and chill. Where me I'm coming from, I was a one-man army. I come, I set up, I connect, I do everything that I have to do. Like me, one-man army. So when these guys are like, no, I'm not the one doing this part. These guys handle power. These guys handle this. These guys handle that. I didn't understand. So I'm like, why do I have to wait for this person to come when I can do this? So I jumped on board doing certain things, and then Alhaji was impressed with it, and then he took it up from there and like, yo, you're coming to Lagos. And he moved me up the ladder. Straight up. He just moved me up the ladder and like, you'll be working with XYZ person. And the person I was asked to work with was Philip, who was an expatriate at the time. So that was why I said coming to Lagos for me was easy.
Okay, so now that we have broken it down properly, I can explain to the people listening and will watch it later. So what Yemi is saying was that he was first doing business by himself in Port Harcourt. He came to Lagos and he started with Zed Maraj.
Yes.
And he also worked with Africa Magic before he finally set up by himself. So all of you that are listening in Port Harcourt, in Kaduna, in Kano, please do not come and pack your baggages and just come to Lagos thinking that you will show up in Lagos and you become Yemi Lights. That's why we have to give you the story as it is. That's why it's called Mahogany True Talk. If you bypass some of his stories, you will come and suffer heads in this Lagos. So don't come and do that.
You actually, for me, let's see, I wouldn't say I have done this on my own. For me, I've just been jumping from one shoulder to another shoulder, and that's why I would tell people being loyal in this industry is key. You see the way it's easy for me to tell you that it was easy for me to come to Lagos. It was because I understood what loyalty is. That's the point. I understood what loyalty is. So being loyal to one person, and then at the same time, you also need to know when you've outgrown a particular point and when to expand. That's it. So being loyal to people like that is how I got to the points.
Yemi, so Zed Mirage is a production company. They did lots of big events. Well, I know when
more like a technical company.
Technical company. I know when I first came, they were absolutely enormous. They're still there, but they're not as well known to people nowadays as they were some time back. So we went from there to Africa Magic, and because I remember that's why I met you, Africa Magic.
Yeah, when I was doing highlights with IK.
Yeah. So what did you do at Africa Magic? What did you learn at Africa Magic, and how did it help you, or how did it make you finally lead to setting up by yourself?
Would I say that helped me? I felt that was just a phase to understanding how the industry works in Lagos.
So what did you learn?
Mr. Charles, to be honest, what did I learn? I learned that don't get too comfortable. In one word, don't get too comfortable. So certain people get too comfortable with certain title and they are not growing. You need to know when you're not growing in terms of what you want to do. So like the magic you want to create, they're not giving you the room to create the magic you want to create. You're limited to certain things because working with TV, they'll tell you that the whole magic is in post-production.
Yeah, that's right.
And then your light doesn't really have to do much. They'll just tell you, do it this way, and in post-production, whatever it is, we'll correct it. So for me, I was there just to have my name show up on TV. So just to have that add to my profile. Okay, I worked on this and I worked on this, to just have my name show up on TV. It wasn't a big, like, it didn't really help me like in the industry per se. I'll be honest. Other things.
So are you honestly saying that you did not learn anything from it? No technical skills, no courses, no how to do lights this way or that way?
Okay. To an extent, I learned how to light up for TV. properly. But I had to learn that on my own, not like they sent me on a course to learn that. I had to learn that on my own. Like, because I have to wake up every day to tell myself, how do I improve on what I'm doing here?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't look like a joke. So it doesn't look as if I'm here just making money and then not bringing anything to the table. So I went doing my research just to like, okay, let me bring something to the table. That's it. So I had to improve myself because of where I was at the time. So it was me going to research to grow myself. That's it.
So, quite a number of people,
So
Yemi,
that's
they,
for me. I was for
so I think there's a delay. So my next question was going to be, look, quite a number of
let me
people
just
do not understand the importance of
okay.
lights at their event. Okay. And I know from working with you, our clients, my gigi, there's always an argument about the bill and why they need these lights until it actually goes up. So enlighten us. What exactly does a lighting company do? And what is the role lights would understand?
It's just I think there's still a delay.
Yeah, there is, but continue. I just wait while you hear what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. So the key thing I would always say, light is there to illuminate, to make things visible. That's the first thing people need to understand. Before any other thing, light is to make things visible. Just the same way you have light in your car to enable you see at night and drive, the same way you have light in your house to enable you see. So the first thing first is you need to have it at the back of your mind that light is to illuminate a character, a venue, or whatever, a club. The key thing is to illuminate. That's what light. That's the first basic thing people need to understand that light is for. Light is first of all to illuminate before any other magic. So while thinking of creating a magic and all that stuff, you need to first of all put into consideration can really see what you're trying to do. That's it. So first of all, light is key to illuminate, and then before the magic, because most people just be like,
Okay. So Yemi, you work with a number of clients: Terraculture, Mahogany, Union, Trace. I mean, if I were to start the list, I could go on and on and on and on. Okay, but tell us, okay, because a lot of people don't understand how important your role may be to producing an event. How does the event planning process work from a light engineer's perspective? At what point do you come in? At what point do you give advice? At what point can you tell a planner that they're doing nonsense? Or what extra do you bring to the table? Walk us through your process from when you are contacted by a client to when you finish setting up.
okay, so for me, once I'm contacted, the first thing I do is ask questions. I ask a whole lot of questions. Like I would tell every lighting engineer, designer, always ask questions. Don't think any question is stupid. Ask. Just ask as much question as you can. That's the truth, because that is what's going to help you. Ask as much question as you can, because you don't want to show up at a venue. Imagine you're going outside your region for an event, and then you just load up your truck with the brief that was emailed to you. A whole lot of people like, it was emailed to me. This is what they emailed to me, so this is what I'm working with. That makes you a bad lighting designer or lighting engineer. always ask questions. So that's the first thing I do. First of all, I ask as much questions. Okay, based on this brief you've sent to me, I understand what you need here, but have you also considered this? Bring that to your client's attention. Have you considered this? Have you also considered this? Have you considered that this might happen? Have you considered that this also might happen? Have you considered that at some point in your event, this would happen or this will not happen, and then you would have to switch over to this? So why don't we create a gap, like create that space in case this happen, we have this to cover up. So that's the first thing I do. I ask as much questions as I want, as I like. I ask as much questions, and then I go back to my drawing board. I come up with a plot based on the venue and what the client wants to do. I come up with a plot, and then I sit with my team and we talk through the plot. And then I explain to them at every point that I want to create a magic. I explain to them that you see this is here because this is for XYZ magic moment. This is for XYZ magic moment, because to be honest, lighting, apart from illuminating the room and other stuff, light is there to enhance the set and also enhance the costume for performances. So once I drop that plan, I'm more like I'm good to go.
So Yemi, one of the things that I've always wanted to ask, what is the difference between a lighting designer and a lighting engineer?
Okay, so a lighting designer is the guy that comes up with the interpretation of how the light should go, or how the story should go. Like the lighting designer is the person that imagines the magic. That imagines, okay, this with this will create this. Like if you add up this light to this light, this is what it's going to create. That's what the lighting designer. The lighting designer doesn't necessarily even need to know how to operate a board, but a lighting designer needs to understand the stage floor, the stage mapping. He needs to understand that, okay, this is the right place to rig up this. While the lighting engineer is the guy that practically rigs up everything. So you give a lighting engineer a plot, the lighting designer can come up with a plot and give it to the lighting designer, and then the lighting designer gives it to the lighting engineer, and then the lighting engineer rigs up the light and other stuff. And then the programmer, a lighting designer can actually be the programmer, but you can be a lighting designer and not be a lighting programmer. The lighting programmer is the person that brings whatever the lighting designer is thinking in his head to life. Okay. So you can program the light as a lighting programmer and put it into easy faders for the lighting designer to push. So the lighting designer then knows, okay, this is the point where I want this magic, and this is the fader to push. So a lighting designer doesn't even necessarily need to know how to rig up a light or operate a light or program. So there are most lighting designers for major Broadway shows that cannot program a light, but they can sketch a plot on how the light will travel and they know what every light can do. That's the key thing for a lighting designer. You must know what every light can do, so you know what you need to create your magic as a lighting designer.
So then basically what we're saying is that a lighting designer creates the magic, and the lighting engineer makes sure that it happens the way the lighting designer designed it.
Yes, make sure that everything is set up.
Designs the house, and then you get a
the engineer
to come and build the house itself.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, I got you. Now I understand. So, but one of the things that, please explain this to me. We have people like yourself. We have other people that are in the industry that are Nigerian based. But I notice, that a lot of big firms or big companies or people doing events, if they have money, like to bring light engineers and light designers from outside of the country. Is there a special training, or is there something that light engineers in Nigeria don't have? Otherwise, why are they bringing engineers and light designers from outside the country to operate events in Nigeria? Give us the truth as why it's like that. What's really going on?
One word. The answer to that question is one word: discipline.
So what?
Majority,
We are not
majority of
disciplined, or
majority of the lighting designers in Nigeria are not disciplined.
okay, break it down when you say not disciplined. What
Okay,
way? They eat on the
majority.
job, they don't come on time. What is it?
So now leave eating on the job and not coming on time, which is like a habit that it will take God to get out of certain people, is being carried away by the event itself. That's the truth. It's being carried away by the event itself. Just the same way certain people say that it is called showbiz. Some people get carried away by the show, forgetting the fact that it's a business. That's the problem. A lighting designer in Nigeria gets carried away by the show and don't follow the script and starts playing around. Majority of the time, lighting designers in Nigeria are converting people's scripted events into a club after party. So the DJ, just the same way most DJs run out of script, they just play whatever they're not meant to play, and then that's the same way. Like that's why if you notice, they'll tell you that this DJ will not work for this event because it is scripted. That's the same way certain light engineers cannot work for certain things because they don't know how to be patient to say, okay, at this point, I'm going to slowly fade in this or slowly fade out this. Some music play and the next thing they turn up the volume, and the majority of the time they are not lighting the stage, they are lighting the audience. Like you have like 50% of the effect pouring into the audience eyes, and they can't really see the stage. So majority of the time, these people are not creating magic. It's just all about the party. They just want to turn up and have the lights roll around everywhere. They forget the fact that the light is meant to like tell a story. Light is meant to tell that, okay, at this point in the event, this is what is going on. The light is also meant to set the mood for the event when people walk in and build up to letting people know that this is the end of the event. But you see a lighting designer in Nigeria, at some point in the event, it turns into an after party. And that's why I'm not surprised when at the middle of some event, some people are going home because they just assume that this is the end. Because the lighting designer practically has created, because people are moved by what they see. So you switch up the tempo after the first 3 performances in a probably 2-hour, 30 minutes event. At the 45 minutes into the event, you switch up the tempo of the light and then turn it into an after party. And then people are already standing and dancing and moving around and getting distracted because they can't really focus on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, what you say.
So lighting designers need to understand that.
For certain fashion shows, and I will stick with the lighting designer still there, but he knows what I'm like. I would say, right, card controller, play the beat. On beat 3, I need light engineer, flush your light on this point. And you have to concentrate. Or if you work on a Bolanle Austin Peters production, for instance, and a lot of concentration. Am I right, Yemi? Is that the case? Or is it that you press a button, light back,
yes,
and then the machine will do everything for you? Is it autopilot?
No, you have to. Yeah, you have to. No, you have to concentrate at all time. No matter how much you program the light, that's why I said in certain instances you have a lighting programmer, a lighting tech, and a lighting designer. Because apart from the fact that we have to bring in people into the country, there are also people out there in the UK, in the US, that are also not disciplined. It's just that we have majority of the lighting designers in Nigeria. It's not like we don't have non-disciplined lighting designers around. We have a whole lot of them around the world. That's why they have lighting programmers. That's why they have lighting designers. So when you're done programming, they leave you to go and enjoy the show, and then the lighting designer takes over and start pushing the fader at the time that they want it. That's the truth. So, but in Nigeria, we have more people that are not concentrating. They get carried away by the show. Like a show is going on, a comedian is cracking a joke, and then after the comedian's joke, some other thing is meant to happen at some other point in the stage, and you get carried away, and people are laughing and falling, and you're also laughing and falling, forgetting that you're meant to stay. Yes, forgetting the fact that you're meant to stay focused. I've seen lighting designers laugh, fall, and spill things on their board, and the ball crash at the middle of the event, and then the light had to remain that way, no more blackout, nothing, till the show ends. So key thing, one thing I learned from Zed Miraj is if you're working with him and you're testy, please die of that test. If you take a glass of water close to the board, you would think Alhaji Karem is in his hotel sleeping or somewhere. You will be shocked what will happen to you. He's that kind of person. He will tell you, like before the event, Alhaji will come and meet you. Do you want food? Go and eat. You want drink? Go and drink. You want to pee? Go and pee. Whatever you want to do, go and do. Alhaji is that kind of person that will say, okay, why these guys? You're the lighting designer. Why these guys are working? Go and sleep. So when it is time, you will not be carried away by anything. That's the reason why they bring in lighting designers into Nigeria to run certain things, because, and if you see those things, you see the difference. They are focused. So just a few lighting designers in this country are that way, and those few are the ones running majority of the big TV shows.
Okay, Yemi, so one of the challenges that I believe that you must face is human resources, staff, talent. Because your field is a very specialized one. It's not like you can just go and shout out at Oshodi and people can come and start working for you. You understand? It's just not like that. So, how do you manage staff? What is it like for you getting the talent that you need for your company? And if you have to train, how do you deal with them leaving after you have trained them, that they will now go set up their own businesses? What would happen if you've got 3 events and then one of your guys falls sick? How do you manage with staff?
Okay, that's not easy, to be honest. That's not easy. At first, I started up with when I was a one-man army, people would just show up and be like, I like what you do. So the first set of people I met in the industry before I knew the right channel to recruit people, used to show up at events. You know, like those people that don't have money to buy tickets for certain events. So they show up on time to assist. Back then, like you just show up to help in arranging chairs or doing something. So when they are giving out cool tag, you're part of the people. Like, oh, this person, this. So that's most of the guys that started up with me showed up while I was setting up, like, boss, more join you now. What if we do? If we carry this thing and all that. That was it. But at some point, they got used to, okay, this can actually pay our bills. We can actually start up. And then I decided to, like, okay, for me to grow, I have to look for the right channel to pick people and pick disciplined people. So I fell back to where I started, which was church. Because I understood one thing, that you need to believe in something. You need to have that. You need to have that mindset of believing in something for you to be part of a team. So I cannot just pick up a random person I do not know because they showed up for an event and just fix them into my team without knowing what they believe in. So the fact that we meet in church, I know that there's some place that I can fall back to lay a complaint, that you can be held accountable. So I decided I fell back to picking staffs from church. So majority of my staffs are from church. Like, you want to be part of the technical department in church, and then we'll offer you that we can train you. Okay, what do you do for a living? Do you have a life? I know that we can offer you a job after the training. And then we'll make them feel at home. We'll make them understand that if you have an issue, you can talk to us if you have a problem. So we treat them the way church treats certain people to an extent. That is how I've been able to keep certain people in check. But at the same time, you need to understand that people are human beings. They will grow. You need to know when people are of that age to leave, and you need to let them go and help them start up, so they would always come back to pay that respect to you. That's the truth. Alhaji knew that Alhaji knew the point that, okay, Alhaji knew at some point that this guy had to go. So what he did was encourage me. Alhaji will have 5 events. He has equipment to run the 5 events. He will call me and be like, yeah, me go and run 2. So I knew that, okay, this guy believes in me, and then this guy wants me to grow.
So, but I mean, so are you telling me that you have a lot of like what we call street guys that you've trained and stuff like that? So you're telling me that within Yemi life, they're more educated to an extent, people that come from the church. Is that what you're saying, or am I getting a bit confused?
Mr. Charles, the people that come from the church are not your regular educated people, well-behaved people. It's like you say you go to the hospital to get staffs. But if there's anything, you know that you can call the hospital to inject them. If I can put it in that phase. So it's not like you get the best of people in church, but the fact that they believe in something.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried throwing it open to employing like regular people, like run the whole interview and all that stuff. Out of probably 20 people, I was able to pick 2.
Wow.
That's the truth. But when you pick guys from church, first of all, this is the key thing why I pick guys from church. And because you have time to study them. You look at them being their regularity and their punctuality. Like they come to church on time because they have to set up before church service. They come to church frequently. So you know, like, okay, these people understand the routine of being at a particular place at a particular time. They have that in them. So it's easy to build from there. So that has laid the foundation for you to build. That's the truth. Against picking up people from the streets that you don't have time to study them, to know their bad, good habits and certain things. And you just throw them into your company, and then you're being concerned that if I give this person equipment to go somewhere, how am I sure this person is going to come back? Right. But the fact that you know they have a base in church, you can tell that if this person doesn't come back, I know their brother, or I know somebody in church that knows their family and certain things. In this Lagos, that people can practically create things and give it to you, and there's a lot of make believe in this Lagos, and then you just believe it, and suddenly equipment is gone. So for me, being on the safe end, I just pick people from where I think I can fall back to hold them accountable for anything.
Okay. So you own, I mean,
and then another thing is if I didn't hear that question, Mr. Charles.
No, I said okay. I'm not sure. Can you hear me, Yemi? Because I'm not sure if there's...
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
I interrupted you. I wanted you to finish your sentence.
Okay, so I'm like, so for me, once I get guys from church and then they grow to some point, I now, like, I give them that room to bring in people that they can trust, that they know. So I know that, okay, I can hold this person accountable for this person that they are bringing in. And then I promote you and ask you to bring someone else that can learn under you. So which is like giving you an opportunity, because I know that you would go to some point that you would have to leave someday. So I put all of that into consideration, that you go to some point where you have to leave. So I give you the room to also bring people and train them under you. So when you're leaving, you have a team to live with. That's it. Because see, one thing a whole lot of companies don't put into consideration is the fact that people will grow. So people will grow. So you need to create that room. You need to have that at the back of your mind from your day one, that this person will grow. So as you're hiring them, as you're bringing them on board, you need to tell yourself that this person is going to be here for this time. And at this point, if they haven't grown, then I have to look into their issue seriously. Because if you're not going, then it doesn't tell well on me. Because at some point in this life, I should be able to retire. Alhaji Teju Karim has retired, but he has people in the industry that has grown to that point that if someone called him for something, he can say, let me call this guy to work with you. The same thing to living Port Harcourt. I have people in Port Harcourt also that I let go. You understand? That are running events also in Port Harcourt. So the same thing I'm also doing in Lagos. You need to tell yourself that people would go. So while you pick up people, also let them pick people that they can trust. So by the time they go to that point, whatever damage the people will bring, they would understand that this damage will come to me because this is the team I'm going to live with. And when it is time for them to leave, don't fight them. Encourage them. That's the problem we have in this industry. When it is time for people to leave, rather you encourage them, you start fighting them, you start shutting doors, you try to see. There are certain signs you see, and you know that it is time for this person to leave. When someone has worked with you for probably 6-7 years, or 5 years at the max, or at the minimum, and you see them going by the sides to do certain events, don't start trying to fight them, try to fight those events that they do. Rather bring them to the table and say, I know you're going to do this event. The next time you want to do this, rather you stress yourself trying to gather equipment from here and here. Come and take this from the office. Okay? Go and run your event. Just be careful with the equipment. Bring them back. If this is what you have to up at the office, this is the office rate that you know, we will give you a 70% discount. Reason why you would give them a 70% discount, so they can make money to enable them buy and add to whatever you would give them in the future to go with. But if you don't give them that, they now try to see. Majority of people that leave from me, they are still open. They come, they take equipment, they tell me that, boss, I'll come back to pay you. I know you will not come back to pay me. I will give you. Go and do the event. You would bring it back. You would tell me that, boss, something happened. The client did not pay me. In some cases, that happened because I experienced that in this industry growing, whereby I was stranded in certain states, going to do certain events for certain people, and then got stuck there. I know that happened. You will come back again. I will tell you that, be careful this time. I hope they've paid you and all that stuff. I will give you the equipment. But at some point, there's a stage you get to, I will now call you to order and tell you that you are joking with yourself. I can't keep giving you equipment. You blow up the money and you're not going yourself. I will have to call you to order, okay? Put you through some routine of punishment, like go out there and struggle and try to get equipment from other people. And then at some point, I will know that point where you are getting weak and getting frustrated. I will show up and tell you, oh yeah, you can come and take this. And if you're doing well, at some point, I'll be like, Omo, I have XYZ lights that I'm not using. Come and carry. Mr. Shaws, trust me. I have given out light equipment worth some good amount of money. If I'm not using them again, I give it to you so you can go and run all those small shows. There are certain people that will call me. I'll tell you that, sorry, I'm not available for this day. Not because I'm not available, because I know that I've gone past this standard of event and there are people that need to go. So I tell you that I can give you somebody that I can vouch for that will do this for you. If I ask the person and the person don't have the right equipment to do the job, I will tell you, come and carry mine and go and do the job. I do that a whole lot. So
I love your philosophy, and I think it's a great philosophy. And I mean, if more people did that, the industry will grow more. But like one of the things you just spoke about, and I just want to touch on it briefly, was you talk about giving out equipment, letting people come and take your equipment. But how do you manage equipment? Because that must be capital intensive. Because if it's anything like my house, I'll put light bulb on. 1 week later, the bulb has blown. What is that? And I'm buying bulbs. So I can't imagine what it is like in your own business. And they're blowing and so on. So how do you handle your inventory? How do you make sure that you get a return on your investment?
Okay, it shows every light has a lifespan. Okay, and if it doesn't serve the lifespan, meaning there's an issue, you need to trace the issue and solve it. If not so, you keep buying. So for me, I know there are certain equipment you need to buy to enable protect your light. So most people just jump into buying lights and not thinking of the right cables, the right plugs, the right power units to protect their lights. That's the first thing I do. I go for the first thing I go for. I try to get the right power unit to protect my light. So if there's an issue, those units will trip off and protect the light. That is the first thing. That's the first thing I do. Look for the right power unit to protect my light. And then, but at the same time, you need to have it at the back of your mind that certain things will happen. You might rig up somewhere and something is not properly sealed or safeguarded and it falls. You understand? You can set up an event if you Google crashed event, you will see massive structures with millions worth of equipment crash down based on one hurricane or one thing or one error.
Yeah.
We've had to set up at the beach once with Alaji. We set up a stage and a roof structure, and it was all calm. At noon, when we're setting up, it wasn't that. It was all calm. So we set up. Sometime within early evening, it started mad wind. We were trying to hold the ground support, the roof structure. Like we could practically see this stuff lifting up everybody. We just told ourselves, at this point, we need to cut this and let it go. So the same thing, when you realize that this is going to cause damage to XYZ lights, you need to let it go. At some point, you need to tell yourself that at this junction, I need to stop fixing this light. I need to pick up the good parts in this light and use it to fix others and convert this into scrap. At some point, you need to tell yourself that at this time, at this point in my life, I would have to convert this equipment to a learning tool for the younger ones to play around with. That's it. So I draw up that line. So if I'm investing, I'm telling myself that within XYZ time frame, I am meant to make this money back and the profit and like what I need to reinvest, because you can't stop investing until when you're ready to retire and hand over. So I tell myself that within this time frame, I would make XYZ amount of money and then I would reinvest this, and then this is my profit. So that brings me to the point where I tell myself that you can't do all the events. There are certain people that want to jump from point A to point B to point C, taking whatever amount of money they see, they give to them. And you forget the fact that the more you use the equipment, the lesser. It's like a car. If you buy a car today for 10 million and you drive it around Lagos, just around Lagos, the price reduces. Yeah. The more you use it, the more. So all them equipment don't appreciate, they depreciate. So I have that at the back of my mind. So I tell myself, let this equipment go. And that's why at times when I encounter certain damage, I don't really feel it, because I've drawn out that plan. And I try as much as possible within the first 2 years of that equipment to make back that money.
Okay.
So I would tell myself that if I'm not making this money from this event, there's no need to do it. That is where loyalty comes to play. I invest based on the clientele I have. I know my key clients that are loyal to me and I'm loyal to. So I save the best for them. So when they call me, I'm able to create that magic with them. So they grow and they carry me along and I grow with them. So I give them the best because I know that these are the people that will enable me pay this bill, that will enable me regain my money. That's the truth.
Mahogany was just reminding us of an event we did at Tafa Balewa Square for TPH. Remember when it rained and the roof, everything was about to disappear or not the day before the event. Child, Jesus.
Oh God!
It was not easy.
Yeah, so, but those were good days.
Yes, so Yemi, just briefly, are there any new innovations in light that are coming out that we should be aware of? Any sort of special effects that people like Mahogany, Wahib, and other people that are in event industry should be maybe talking to you about that could turn an ordinary event into a wow event?
Mr. Charles, equipment are coming out every day. New set of equipment are coming out every day. There's a particular light that is out right now that can practically create the shape of a door on a stage. like can create a rectangle and a triangle. Like you have to be in that angle to be illuminated. Like it can practically, you can shape it. It's like a projector that you can shape, that you can map. That's it. So there are new set of lights coming out every day, improving on the existing lights. They are improving on the existing lights and creating new lights that can create. But I think they are creating light for production purposes, more light for production purposes than club and the rest of it. So the lights the new set of lights right now are for production purposes. So lights that can enhance your stage performance and all that. And another thing I would like to say before I run out of time, I think event planners need to note this. Okay, event planners need to make out time or need to speak to lighting engineers and designers on functions of light. Because in this industry, one reason why certain lighting engineers are going the wrong way is because the event planners are looking for the easy way out and not willing to ask what are the function of this. For instance, you will quote for a moving head, for one moving, take out the moving head and give me 3 LED. Yes, 3 LED. If only the event planner knows that one moving head can do the job of 10 LED and 5 other things at the same time. But 3 LED is the cost of one moving head. But one moving head will do the work of 5 LED and more light. So if most events to listen to the right lighting designers, or if possible, ask the function of certain things when a light designer drop a list for your event based on your brief. You need to ask the function of certain things and be patient for them to walk you through. If possible, note them down and then tell them, I will get back to you. Go back with the notes that you've gotten and then look through and tell yourself that, okay, this is the right light, because that will help you in costing. That will also help you in getting more for less, because most people are getting are just particularly mood light. In essence, your moving head can do the mood light and also create a more relaxing mood with gobo. And then moving head in the wrong way. Most of the intelligent light, they're using it in the wrong way. Like they just put up the light and have it dance around the hall. While in essence, you can have the light create that relaxing gobo, motion gobo feel. Like you walk into a hall and you think that the walls are moving. It creates that relaxing mood. You understand? There's something for you to look around and admire, listen to good music before the event itself kickstart. So you're not tired. But if you have light dancing around in your eyes at the beginning of an event, half point into the event, your people are tired and they are going home to look somewhere else, to check somewhere. So I think that needs to be looked into.
Fantastic. Yemi, we're coming close to the end of the show. Just got a few more minutes. And as I always like to do with my guests, I like to give you the opportunity to say anything that you want to say, things that you're doing, any advice you want to give, because, you know, Mahogany is about helping new people come into the industry, even those that are experienced, having experts like you talk about it. So please, this is open floor. Anything you want to say, the floor is yours.
Okay, so Keaton, I would like to say to all lighting designers and everybody that's into like the industry and all that is, don't be offended when a lighting designer asks you questions. They have their reasons why they ask questions upon questions upon questions, is to enable them serve you well and give you the best for your event. Okay, so like they ask you questions so they can get the best. Like to enable them give you the best. So they want to have you say everything you imagine, everything you have in your head. They want to try as much as possible to get it out, because you don't state it in your brief that you email to them. So they ask as much questions to enable you explain to them in person what you're imagining, and so they can bring that to life for you. Then for lighting designers, ask enough questions, pack up the right gears, and if possible, pack up extra. Pack up enough light, okay? Have it at the back of your mind that certain things will come up. So pack up enough light so you don't have to fall back. Have it at the back of your mind that whatever brief you have that you're rolling with can be changed on the day of the event or while you're setting up. Be open for that change to happen. Don't be locked to this is the brief this is the brief that was given to me. Be flexible and learn to listen to people, even if you know more than them or whatever. If you think you're the pro, learn to listen to people because you can never it all. Trust me, that is coming from someone that is very stubborn like me, that hardly used to listen to people. Learn to listen to people because that will really help you. And then know your client. Pick a clientele base, okay, and give them your best. Because he who believes in nothing falls for anything. Just know that. That's practically it. Mr. Sauce, thank you for
Mr. Yemi
having...
Lights, the original light man that actually has the name Lights in his name. We'd like to thank you for coming on board. We know you're a busy man.
Thank you, Mr. Sauce.
We were struggling that we would be able to get hold of you because we know here. Where's Yemi? He's in Abeklo. Where's Yemi? He's in Benin. Where's Yemi? He's in Ibadan. We don't know where you are any given. The 1 minute I say, my gege, where's Yemi? Oh, he's sitting down. Next minute, no, he's now in Yaba. Damn, okay. This Mr. Lights. You're like, as they say, you're like the speed of light. So we like to thank you for your time, for coming on board.
Thank you, Mrs. Sauce. Thank you.
We've learned a lot from what you've done. We wish you the best of luck. Wairi says you're her godfather, and thank you for
Watch.
She's been watching you since, so you haven't read the comments.
As in super, as in she's using the toe, hypo, everything to watch me.
COVID-19 money. You haven't given up pocket money. You will know. So, yeah. Yemi, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you soon, and good luck with everything you're doing. Thanks for coming on Mahogany.
Okay, Mr. Sauce.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having me. Yeah. Bye.
Right. That was, of course, a great session with Yemi Lights, the original light man. Everybody knows him in Lagos. He's done a lot of the big major events. Great session that was coming to an end on Mahogany True Talk. As always, we bring you the best of the industry greats to come and talk to you, to share their experiences so that you can learn. Fashions Finance Africa, the chat room with another great guest. And of course, next week, Tuesday, on Mahogany True Talk with another true guest, great guest. Guys, please do not be like Donald Trump. COVID is real, okay? Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distancing. Please be careful and be safe out there. And we wish you all the best. And good night, guys.